Welcome to this exploration of profound wisdom as we delve into the teachings of Sri Ramana Maharshi on dream, sleep, and Samadhi. Imagine being able to better understand the nature of our thoughts, dreams, and ultimately the self. Here one of Maharshi's devotees seeks guidance on controlling dreams, and through the enlightening dialogue that unfolds, we gain insight into the deeper mysteries of consciousness and self-realization. Devotee: Master, how can one control dreams? Sri Ramana Maharshi: if you can control your mind during the waking state or Jagrata Avastha, you can also control it during sleep. Dreams are simply impressions we have absorbed while awake and are recalled to mind in the dream state, that is, semi-sleeping state, as distinct from deep sleep or Shushupti. Devotee: in my dreams, I sometimes see strange, incomprehensible things like enormous figures with monkey faces. Maharshi: the self is unlimited. It is the mind that shapes forms with limitations. Just as gold shaped into an ornament is still gold, so the mind, which is a mysterious power or Shakti of the Supreme, produces dimensions and limitations. This wonderful power arises from the Supreme Being. Devotee: so the mind itself gives rise to all these impressions, even of the world? Maharshi: indeed, the mind's arising brings forth God, the world, and jivas or individuals. But in deep sleep, there is no awareness of these three. Only the self remains, beyond thought or concept. When the mind rises again, we return to wakefulness. Consciousness and unconsciousness exist only with reference to the mind. In the waking state, we identify with the mind. Yet, in deep sleep, without it, we have no limitations. Devotee: in that state, I am unaware of any boundaries or distinctions. Maharshi: exactly, the feeling of being unaware during deep sleep comes from the mind. In deep sleep, you are merged with the real self, unaffected by anything temporary. The self remains, whether in sleep, dreams, or waking state. The mind may have different states, but the self is the unchanging reality beneath them all. Devotee: are all people, like poet, artist, or engineer, the clerk, ultimately the same in their essence? Maharshi: the difference is only in the mind. Each person is shaped by their own tendencies due to vasanas. The mind of an ignorant or ordinary is like the sensitive plate, taking images of things as they appear, whereas the mind of a wise person becomes like a clear mirror. Devotee: is the master here present before me? Maharshi: who is the master? You perceive a body, but how does the master see himself? He sees himself as the self, as pure Atma. The world only appears when the self is identified with the mind. When one recognizes only the self, no separate world is seen. In reality, there is no creation or destruction or preservation. Only the self exists eternally. As your maturity of the mind depends, these doubts will cease. That which exists is consciousness. Consciousness and existence are not different. Existence is the same as consciousness. Pure consciousness, absolute consciousness. You say, I am conscious of the body, and so on. But pure consciousness is beyond all this. It is absolute consciousness. There is no question of transition from unconscious to supreme pure consciousness. Giving up these two, self-consciousness and unconsciousness, you inhere in the natural consciousness, that is, pure consciousness. Devotee: but the world seems real. How can it be just an illusion, Maya? Maharshi: illusion means the superimposition of an appearance over reality, like mistaking a rope for a snake in dim light. Maya is that illusion. Similarly, seeing ice without recognizing it as water is an illusion. The mind too is only an expression of the self, not something to be destroyed. After all, mind also is part and parcel of the self. Resting in the self is true freedom, true liberation from Maya. Maya is not a separate entity. Absence of light is called darkness. So also, absence of knowledge, illumination, etc. is called ignorance, illusion, or Maya. Devotee: and what is Samadhi? Maharshi: when the mind is in communion with the self in darkness, it is called Nidra or sleep. That is the involution of the mind in ignorance. Involution in a conscious or wakeful state is called Samadhi. Samadhi is continuous inherence in the self in a waking state. Nidra or sleep is also inherence in the self, but in an unconscious state. In Sahaj Samadhi, the communion is continuous. Devotee. And what are Keval Nirvikalp Samadhi and Sahaj Nirvikalp Samadhi? Maharshi. The involution of the mind in the self but without its destruction is Keval Nirvikalp Samadhi. There are 4 obstacles in this, namely vacillation of mind, life breath or prana, body, vision or drishti. In Keval Nirvikalp Samadhi, one is not free from vasanas or deep-rooted tendencies and does not therefore attain mukti. Only after the sanskaras have been destroyed can one attain salvation. Devotee. When can one practice Sahaj Samadhi? Maharshi. Sahaj Samadhi, however, can be practiced from the very beginning. Even though one practices Keval Nirvikalp Samadhi for years together, if one has not rooted out the vasanas, he will not attain salvation. Devotee. But some say even a jnani or realized one is not free from prarabdha or past karma. Maharshi. To others, it may seem that a jnani is affected by karma, like eating, sleeping, experiencing the body's ailments. But for the jnani, it's like a flywheel that spins momentarily even after the engine stops. But the jnani is neither affected by this, nor does he think that he is experiencing the pleasures and pains thereof, because he has no thought of being the doer. Through these teachings, Maharshi offers a profound understanding of the relationship between mind and self, waking and sleep, illusion and reality. It's an invitation to step beyond the mind's limitations and rest in the true, boundless nature of the self.